What's happening, everyone? Sam, aka FIFA Brit from Gold Boys, and thank goodness the international break is finally done. We're back to domestic soccer, and we've got some midweek fixtures to dive into as we reach the end of the season when they try and cram these fixtures in so we have non-stop soccer all week, not just the weekends, but during the week as well. But before we dive into Tuesday's Premier League slate, I want to say a special thank you to the sponsor of this video, Sleeper Picks. Don't forget you can use code GOLDBOYS to get a deposit match of up to $500. But now, without further ado, let's dive into Tuesday's Premier League action. The games are actually pretty good, which is kind of nice. The first game I want to talk about is Newcastle against Everton. To put this very simply, Everton are dog shit. Complete and utter dog shit. Their last win in all competitions was January 17th against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. That's almost 3 months ago, just to win a game. Their last win in the Premier League was December 16th, last year, against Burnley, a relegation-threatened Burnley. And now Everton are looking pretty relegation-threatened as well. So yeah, if you're feeling pretty bold, Newcastle moneyline is almost even money against Everton, who haven't won in almost 3 months. That's pretty good value. That being said, Newcastle are pretty up and down right now. They're not very consistent, so here's what I'm thinking. Use their double chance, which is around minus 300, and put that into a 2-pick builder. It's a perfect builder leg, simply because while I might not be sure if Newcastle win, I'm pretty fucking sure that Everton aren't going to win, especially on the road at St. James's Park. I'm also going to be looking at Isak's shots in the first half and looking at his goal as well. And if I get to see Harvey Barnes coming back from injury, starting on the left wing because Anthony Gordon just got injured and Newcastle simply can't keep a fully healthy squad right now, if I see Harvey Barnes in this lineup, I'm probably going to take his first half shots as well because the value will be slightly better. But Isak is looking like a man possessed right now. He's in pretty good form. Pretty sure he just had 2 goals and an assist over the weekend. I think it's his first assist of the entire season. So yeah, he's looking pretty good right now. Definitely going to incorporate his first half shots. The next game I want to talk about is Nottingham Forest against Fulham. I don't know if you guys have been watching Fulham recently, but their striker Muniz is an absolute wagon for first half shots. I think he's on a streak of 8, potentially even 10 games with at least 1 first half shot. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'm going to be incorporating him later on as well. Don't you worry. Now, Fulham, tie no bet, is almost even money. Now that's pretty good value. Forest only have 1 win in their last 13 games, 7 losses and 5 ties. Alternatively, you can use a Fulham double chance and incorporate that into a 2-pick builder. Maybe you're feeling Newcastle double chance, Fulham double chance. That comes to almost even money. Looks pretty good to me. Moving on to the next game I want to talk about, Bournemouth against Crystal Palace. Now, Bournemouth actually have a lot of good shooters on their team. The problem is, all of their odds kind of suck right now, and you never know which one of them is going to have the shooting game. They have Solanke, they have Semenyo on the wing, they have Tavernier, they have Kluivert. All of those guys can shoot. Even Philip Billing, if he's playing an attacking mid rather than defensive mid, one of my go-to guys for playing slightly out of position. But the value just isn't really there, and so I don't really want to pick one because I don't really have a really solid lean on which one of them's going off, and the odds don't even make sense to like split a unit between 2 of them. Like Solanke 2 first half shots is almost always juiced to like minus 140 or worse, and even though Semenyo used to be my absolute go-to value pick, the value's kind of gone and he doesn't do it as much as I would like for the odds that we get on him. That's the problem. Now, this fixture tells me on paper that there are going to be goals, but the actual matchup between these 2 teams never really has that many goals. And also, I don't trust Palace to begin with unless Eze and Elise are playing. Now, Eze's been playing for a couple of games now. Elise is still not fit. That being said, his odds first half shots are listed on FanDuel, so maybe he does come back. Maybe he comes off the bench. But if he's not starting, I am not trusting Palace with jack shit. That being said, I'm also not going to trust Bournemouth much either because the value's not really there. So I'm probably not going to touch this game unless Elise and Eze are both starting. Then that's a different matter. If I do decide to lock in a play once the lineups have dropped, it will be in my Discord channel in Gold Boys. If you're not in Gold Boys, by the way, please sign up. The link will be in the description below. And while you're at it, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the video, and drop some comments in the comments section below. Moving on to the next game, Burnley against Wolves. Now, there are some interesting value shooters in this game. Larson for Burnley has had first half shots of 3, 3, and 2 in his last 3 games. Audebert, I think is how you say it, the French winger / striker, depending on where he's playing. Back-to-back games with 2 first half shots. And for Wolves, it's kind of a toss-up. While there are injuries and Sarabia is their only main attacking player that's actually healthy, he's the go-to guy for first half shots. But if Cunha comes back from injury, if Neto comes back from injury, then it's kind of harder to tell, and I probably won't touch it. That being said, I lean under 2.5 in this game, but this is my constant dilemma with 2 shit teams playing each other. Either it's really low scoring because none of them could score, or it's really high scoring because none of them can defend. The value on under 2.5 is pretty good, but again, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do for that game. It's a straight bet. It's going to be pretty lineup dependent. Moving on to the last, and what I think is the best game of the Premier League slate, West Ham against Spurs. This game should be an absolute banger, and the odds, unfortunately, kind of reflect that. Over 2.5 total goals is minus 295. The line for total goals is set at 3.5, and it is juiced to the over. 4 goals is a lot of goals. Do I think this game is going to be pretty wide open, fast-paced, see quite a few goals? Yeah. Am I willing to lay the money on over 3.5 total goals as a straight bet? Probably not. That's just the reality of the situation. That being said, some first half shots I like. Son hadn't been playing particularly well since he came back from the Asia Cup, but he's coming off a game with 3 first half shots over the weekend, so he might be back on the betting list. West Ham, a little bit tricky now that people are coming back from injury. It used to be that Bowen was the absolute go-to guy, and you could maybe get some value on Kudus as well. Now that they have Antonio fit, now that they have Paqueta fit, the shots are kind of get spread around more evenly. That being said, Jared Bowen is usually good for at least 1 first half shot. He hasn't really got the upside anymore now that other competent attackers are actually surrounding him, but he's usually good to contribute to the attack in some way, whether that be through a goal or an assist, and he should be good for 1 first half shot if you are considering creating a play of your own. Now, I do have a couple of slips that I have locked in ahead of time that I'm going to tell to you right now. Everything else that I've mentioned in the video, I'm going to wait for lineups for before I absolutely lock in a definite bet, but these are some bets I'm comfortable locking in now. First half shots. Isak, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Muniz for 1 first half shot each. That's plus 136 on FanDuel, and I bet 1 unit on that. Now, don't forget, the beauty of the first half shots market is you don't necessarily have to wait for lineups before you bet it, because if a player doesn't start, but they sub in later, as long as they sub in during the second half, your first half shot bet will void, not lose, because the player did not play in that first half. Now, the only risk is if they sub in during the first half, even if it's just for a minute, then the bet would lose if they don't get the shots that you need. Now, I've been betting this market since the World Cup, and I've only got screwed on that once when a player subbed in literally in the last minute of the first half due to injury. First half subs are almost never tactical. I think the only first half tactical sub I saw was during the World Cup when France made some subs like half an hour in. But typically all the time it's down to injury. So if an injury happens, that's just bad luck. But there is almost, I say almost, 99% no risk in locking these in before lineups drop, just because the odds of them not starting but then subbing in during the first half are slim to none. Still slim, but pretty good if you want to capitalize on value now. So that's my first half shot build. I'm also going to take each of those 3 players for 2 first half shots each. That all parlayed together is plus 1389 on FanDuel, and I'm going to put 0.2 units on that. I'm also going to run a half a unit parlay on some of my initial leans on these games that I'm comfortable locking in before lineups. That's going to be Newcastle double chance, Fulham double chance, under 3.5 total goals in Burnley against Wolves, and over 2.5 goals in West Ham against Spurs. That's plus 274 on Bet Rivers, and I'm going to bet that for half a unit. So yeah, those are my tickets I've locked in ahead of time. Anything else, I will try and share a couple of plays on my Twitter. If you aren't following me at FIFA Brit, go and do that right away. And anything else will be shared in my Discord channel. So yeah, that's my recap of the Tuesday Premier League slate. Again, don't forget, if you do think that you have a gambling problem, don't forget to call the number 1-800-GAMBLER. Thank you for tuning in. We will have coverage of the Premier League throughout the week. We have games on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I love a bit of midweek action. Don't forget to watch the rest of our videos as well. Like I said earlier, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go and do that right now. Drop a like on the video and drop some comments in the comment section below. So yeah, it's been your boy Sam, aka FIFA Brit from Gold Boys. Have a good one, and I'll catch you next time.